Folks, Google did it again. They launched a platform called Opal, which simply turns you into a programmer. Even if you don't know a line of code, even if you're terrified of those zeros and ones, you just type like you type a normal text, you give it the commands there, and it simply creates your application. Before we start, comment below. I have two questions. First, have you ever had an idea that you didn't pursue just because you didn't know how to code? Number two, when it's the weekend, do I need to wear a nice shirt or can I wear my hoodie? After all, what matters is the content. Comment below, I want to know. Let's go straight to my computer screen. I'm going to react to an American YouTuber. He developed some apps. I'm developing an app too, so I'll give my contribution. And I want your contribution in the comments. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go.
We need to talk about Google Opal. Oh my gosh, check out this post. It's literally perfect for the things I love to do. Describe, create, share your AI mini apps. Basically, you can have an input, you can generate using Google models behind the scenes and get an output. This means that HEYGEN 4, VEO 3, and all Google AI models can be chained together to create a mini app, as they call it. Let's try it.
What's interesting is that Google has its entire powerful ecosystem. So it already has an image generator, which is HEYGEN 4. It already has Google V03, which is for video. It also has AI for music. It has Gemini, which is for text. It also has Google Notebook LM, which among many things generates podcasts with ultra-realistic voices. I don't know if you've seen it. There are 2 or 3 people talking depending on how you configure it there. In other words, Google has a complete ecosystem to create an application. Now, with this Opal for you to code and combining everything Google already has, you can make a profound, beautiful, interactive application. But let's continue here. Let's develop the idea.
Take a YouTube video URL. Generate 4 thumbnail ideas for it. The thumbnail should be clickable and use YouTube best practices for high click-through rates. Add text, but a maximum of 2 short words relevant to the video in a modern font. That was easy. Here's everything. Now I use WhisperFlow to talk to my computer, but note that Google Opal also has a microphone icon. Let's send it and see what's created. Wow, that didn't take long, maybe just a few seconds. And now we can see we have a little flow here. You get the YouTube video URL as input, and it generates thumbnail images. Look at that. We can see that Gemini 2.5 Flash is installed and using that URL.
See? Look, it was exactly what I said. He typed the prompt, then Opal made the flowchart, and look, he asked to generate a thumbnail. And how interesting. To generate a thumbnail, Gemini already used one of the applications from Google's ecosystem here. Gemini will generate the text here, right? The command line. And then it will generate the image. Look how interesting. And then it will render, right? At least that's what's written here. Let's see what happens and if the result is good, right? But you can see that it used Opal, 1 application, Gemini, 2nd application, and it will generate an image, 3rd application. You can see how powerful Google's ecosystem is, right?
Not sure if this will be good for text input, but let's try. And then it's going to render the thumbnails as HTML. Obviously, this is all technical. We don't need to worry about it because our natural language prompt basically made this mini. Let's test it then. Here in the preview tab, I'll click start and look at that. Insert the YouTube video URL to analyze. I really don't believe this will work, but let's test it here on my YouTube channel. I'll grab one of my most recent videos, go back to my Opal app here, paste the URL, hit enter and see what comes up.
Look, just so you understand, here on the left side, he typed the prompt to generate an application that does this, right? Generate thumbnail. And here on the right side, he's seeing how the application is working. In other words, he pressed enter and the prompt here already generated the application. In other words, incredible, isn't it? Comment below, I want to know.
Okay, we can see that it jumped. It clearly went to the next step, and we can see that it's actually generating these thumbnail images when we click on the console. So let's wait a little longer. Boom! Amazing. High CTR YouTube thumbnail concepts. Wow! With Anime AI and Grogfest. Indeed, I talked about these things. This is very, very interesting, considering I invented this with a single sentence. But look at this, I have access to all these different Google models. So if I want to go even deeper, I can choose HEYGEN 4. Let's switch that and run the app again. Okay, That was very fast. I'm not sure if I like them as much as I like the Flash 2.0 image generation thumbnails, but there are some model refinements.
Folks, for example, I have 12 YouTube channels and 10 are monetized. For each of these channels, you have to generate the video thumbnail. I use that A/B test, right? Where you can choose 3 thumbnails to send to YouTube, testing which one will perform best. So imagine these are videos for all these channels. I make 4 videos for each of the channels, okay? Some channels have 1 video per day. Some channels have 2 videos per day. Some channels have 4 videos per day, but it's around 12 to 16 videos per day, each with 3 thumbnails. So it's almost between 40 and 50 thumbnails, imagine. And then what happens? An application like this would help a lot because you keep generating, and eventually it will get good, you know? Another thing, you can sell your thumb maker service using the application to help you make thumbnails faster. And another thing, you can avoid text, right? Text on thumbnails is complicated. You can generate the images here and then. In another system like Canva, Photoshop, or Flux Contest, for example, you can add the text later, right? Anyway, let's continue here.
There's this drop-down list and you can choose what you want to use to do each step. Can you save things to Google Docs? Seriously? The entire Google ecosystem seems to be open to you through Google Opal now. Of course, I'll share the apps I create in the description below. And if you like what you've seen so far, please like and subscribe, as I make videos like this weekly. Take a YouTube URL and turn it into a blog post. Generate 2 relevant images for that blog post and insert them somewhere appropriate. Okay? Prompt. Pretty easy. Let's start. Ready. It chained all those things together. And look, we can see that it asks for the YouTube URL. Then it generates a YouTube blog post using Flash 2.5. Let's change that to Pro. Then it generates an image prompt using Flash 2.5. Then the images. Let's use Imagen Quattro.
So look at that. It simply took a link from a YouTube video. Imagine that I'm going to set up my own website, a blog. Then all the videos I make on my channel, including this one, I put the link here and it will generate a blog post with an image. Look how incredible that is.
This is their most advanced model. And then it creates this blog post with the generated images. If it works as well as the last app, I'll be impressed. I'm going to title the app YouTube to Blog, and then we'll go to the app preview. This way we can actually test it as an end user would. So start again. I'm going to need a YouTube URL. All right. I'm just going to use an old video of mine, paste it in here and press enter. And now look at this. It went straight to the point, creating the blog post. If we want, we can take a look behind the scenes and actually go to our console to see at what stage it is in the Google ecosystem. So it's using the Gemini 2.5 Pro preview, and we can see all the parts of our prompt if we want to open it. Actually, it has a system prompt here saying today and then today's date where you are working as part of an AI system. So no beating around the bush and no explaining what you're doing and why. Interesting to see the behind the scenes of a prompt. Okay, it looks like it's coming to an end. And look at this. Automate your YouTube comments. How I created an AI employee in minutes. Indeed, I did. And look at this. It's actually not that bad. It inserted 2 consecutive images, and it has a lot of jargon here. But let's ignore that and see how this actually turned into a reasonable blog post.
It looks a lot like what people who work with Make or N8N do, right? Anyway, where you assemble the nodes, right? Which are these windows with functions, right? It's very common in N8N and in Make too.
Enter the influencer's name as input, search for trends, generate video instructions, generate the video, combine it in HTML, and send us a social media post. If all this works, I'll be impressed. So let's go to the app preview. Let's get rid of all this node or code view and start our app. So enter the keyword for trend analysis. Let's type something basic like AI tools and then the influencer's name, right? As much as I don't like the word influencer, let's use Mike Rousseau and see what kind of magic my new Opal app will do. Behind the scenes, we can see that it got the trends. The name is searching those trends. It's using Gemini 2.5 Flash. It's searching the web. I didn't even know it had that capability. It's calling Gemini Flash again. It's using all sorts of models all chained together here, and we can see the flow in action right now with this beautiful animation. Oh, by the way, while this is happening and we're waiting for our result, these are mini apps that you can create in Google Opal. It's pretty epic, but I like to build full-fledged applications that can solve complex problems, and that's exactly what I did in my 4-week course, Chip Your App. It just finished. We had the last live clinic yesterday, and I was absolutely blown away. It seems like in the time it took me to tell you that, we're already finishing up generating the social media posts. We can see this beautiful animation in Google Opal. It's just combining the results. We should have a result soon. Wow.
It generated a video. Look how amazing.
It generated this. This is insane. So this is the video it made. Michael Rousseau, unlock the power of Google Trends with AI and no code. Well, it didn't give me anything to post on my social media, but it did make this cool video.
You can tell it's Google V03 even by the 8-second video length, right? Which is the Google V03 limitation. Now, you'll probably have to log in with your account, right? Because you can't generate videos for free on Google V03, not even with the $100 or $200 account, right?
As you can see, it's experimental, and I'm sure that with more suggestions, more refinements, and more tweaks, we can do something pretty interesting with Google Opal. But I can actually analyze the log and see what happens. In search trends, we can see that it searched the web. It found various details and online sources with different trends that are happening right now. So it's powerful. You can create an application with Google Opal that can access live data on the web.
Yeah, analyzing it here. Look, it searched for trends, then it generates the video instructions and then generates the video. The only issue, right? The only issue is that it's only 8 seconds, right? And looking here, it combined both text and video, and it put the video on a website that would be, in this case, a social media network. I don't know to what extent you can, for example, connect an Instagram, right? Because you would have to ask for authorization. And there's also the security issue, right? Because here you have a code, right? You can share the application, but what database will you use in here, right? Can someone hack into this database? Can they hack into this application? Is it shielded? There are all these questions. I believe it's very interesting to make apps for yourself, like that thumbnail generator, for example. I believe you could make a flowchart like that to create videos with it, generating scripts, then generating images, then animating images. But also, you'll probably have to connect your Google account. It will see that you have a Google V03 account and that you have credits. Otherwise, video and image generation won't work because it will use your credits. Now, for you to share this app with other people who will put in their data, there would need to be a better study on data protection, which I believe Google will concern itself with later. Maybe it's even possible to do that kind of shielding now, right? But now I want to know your opinion. Did you like Google Opal? And those 2 questions of mine from the beginning, have you ever had an idea that you didn't pursue just because you didn't know how to develop it? And another thing, on Sunday, can I be more at ease like this? Am I elegant? Do you allow me to wear this kind of clothes only on Sundays? Comment below, I want to know. I'll leave a playlist here with some videos about this issue of artificial intelligence with agents, with coding, okay? Stay with me here. This video doesn't end now. It continues with us commenting in the comments, chatting. Okay, that's it. See you in the next video.